I love to go treasure hunting. I love to go treasure hunting. I'm 75 years old on Thursday, and I want to go treasure.
Your birthday Thursday?
Yeah.
75.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's on my bucket list. This one was last year when I did the bucket list when I wanted to do a dive with the salmon.
How was that?
It was good. It wasn't, the salmon weren't.
There were about 2 of them probably there.
There was a few. I got a picture of what they did, but and I said the next bucket list was to jump out of an airplane.
You know what?
Parachute.
With a parachute on, yeah. Don't forget the parachute, Doug.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah.
I can't.
But I'd love to get on to Florida and that and spend some time down there.
Yeah.
But now I got the grandkids and
life is
sweet here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Then I started making the bracelets and stuff like that. Now I got to keep
you're making. That's kind of interesting. You're making survivalist bracelets. Hey, you're building that to give you something to do?
You see the red?
Yeah, in there.
Here, let me cut a piece of it. I need a knife or scissors.
Oh, right here, Doug. You don't need to cut it. You just pull it right like this. Look at this.
Okay.
Just pull her down.
I'll just take a piece off there. There's a Dima fishing line in there, 50-pound test on it.
No. Where's the hook at?
Well, that you gotta bring with you. You gotta put the hook on the hat.
Put the hook in the hat, hey?
Yeah. You gotta put the hook on the hat. So I was just making these just for
something to do.
Something to do.
Now here's something else. You're into magic.
I used to be.
When did you do that? When you were?
Well, what happened was Phil got me started in it.
And Phil, he owned Can Dive.
He owned Can Dive, and we started playing around with magic and did balloons, for kids and stuff like that. But I like doing
with balloons and stuff.
Yeah.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I just can't imagine. I guess you'd have to keep your mind busy and decompression.
Yeah, that's basically where.
Yeah.
You wanted to start doing it.
You wouldn't even have to be. If you wouldn't have to be very good, you'd just the guy probably not paying attention next to you anyways.
Every time you show them, you're in the bar anyways, you're getting all drunk. So when you're in the bar, nobody knows. I mean, I remember one trick where you used to take a $1 bill and you put a thumbtack in it and you put a quarter on the thing and you fold it all up and you go up in the roof and the dollar would stick up in the roof, but it was the thumbtack and the coin pushing it up, sticking it to the tile, eh? Hey, how do you do that? Different stuff, There used to be one where you roll up a bill and you would say the Queen and American, with the Queen would get on the American bill. That was a dirty joke.
A dirty joke.
Sorry. You don't want to hear about it. You don't want to.
And how long were you in the diving industry for? 30 years?
Oh, longer than that. Commercial-wise, since 1972. So it's at 50.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I've seen far. I can't even. But 1972 is when I started Can Dive.
Are you happy about it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I made a good living at it and
seen the world.
Been to places.
Like literally seen the world.
I even drank with Ronnie Biggs. You know who Ronnie Biggs is?
No, I don't.
Ronnie Biggs is the great train robber. You know who the British great train robber is?
Seriously, where'd you run into him at?
Brazil.
Were they still looking for him or what?
No, he was there. He was a bit of a con artist. He was he'd get tourists in, he'd get them conned in to buy them drinks and
kind of like we do to our producer, calling into buying us lunch.
You made him buy.
Yeah. When I'm late. I was talking to his wife one day. She said, "Matt, it's your job to buy them guys lunch." That's what his wife said. What is it like when you're on the bottom there, sitting looking at something? Is it an eerie feeling? Is it a happiness? Or you're just at work?
I remember in Brazil, It was 600 feet, and looking up.
You're 600 feet in the water?
Yeah, and sat. Looking up, and you see the pontoons of the drill rig. You can look up and see the pontoons of the drill rig and the drill string coming down right to the bottom. And you look up, you say, wow. 600 feet's a long way.
You go down there and set the BLPs up, obviously?
Yeah, we were doing surveys and stuff like that.
To make sure it wasn't leaking? You go down there to see if it's leaking or whatever? Or just...
And that's that. We were doing what they call a Christmas trees. Change-outs.
Okay, you're changing the valves off the valve. The wellhead, guys, a Christmas tree is just when the wellhead comes up, there's a whole bunch of valves and on it, and it looks like a Christmas tree, and the BOP is called, it's blow-up preventers. There's a blind ram, some shears, and an annulus in there. When there's a problem happens, the annulus and the shears will either pipe shears will cut the pipe off, and then the annulus closes on stuff, or it'll have some blind rams that'll close on themselves, so they can release and go away, and it keeps the pressure in the hole. Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You been to school?
Believe it or not.
You're a roughneck.
Yeah.
You were roughneck for a while.
There's a few things I know a little bit about. This is nothing to make a comment about.
But anyway, you're right on. I mean, it's right on.
But it's interesting. Is the water sometimes clear, black, dirty, light, no light?
Sometimes
working in the dark.
Sometimes you can't even see that. I mean, you can't even. It's all tactical. It's got to.
Just as we go back to putting that stuff together with no light on it, back on Men of Honor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now that thing where they put that thingy over their head and poured it full of water. You ever do that? They put the bell hat holding their breath.
Oh, no, that's a setup in a bar. That was a bar.
Yeah, but you ever do something like that?
Hey, no.
No desire to see it. Can you hold your breath a long time?
I had pretty good tidal volume. I could hold maybe 3.5 minutes. Couldn't do it now, but
that's a long time, Doug.
Yeah, but you have to work up to that. You really have to build up for that. I used to dive breath holding, go spearfishing or something. I can get down to 60, 70 feet just on one breath, then back up. So but I couldn't even hold my breath and walk out the door now. But,
interesting. You ever put in a position where you had to hold your breath to get out of there?
No.
Ever had your lines or hose or anything cut off or pinched or tangled up?
Even if they were, you have to free flow, volume, exhale all the way up.
Is that right, eh?
Wherever you were, you never hold your breath. Free diving, if you're not diving with any air in, tanks or anything like that, then you.
But like you say, close calls, stuff like that.
Oh, a couple times, but.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but it's.
My thing that I have a hard time wrapping my head about is keeping calm. That is the thing.
Well, that's one thing.
That's the most important. That's why you make her out of there, is just keeping calm. But to tell yourself, in order to keep calm, it's like some guy shooting at you with a gun and standing there going, well, the bullet's not going to hit me.
Yeah.
And believing in it.
You just have to be calm. You just got to.
Again, it's not something everybody has.
Well, that's why ones that don't have it are usually weeded out before.
I would imagine it happens real quick. You see anybody ever freak out really badly in the water?
Yeah.
And what's that like?
Well,
dangerous, I would think.
Because you put you under pressure on the surface. How do I get this guy back without having an incident, without an accident and stuff like that? I remember on the East Coast, I had 3 guys in SAT, and 2 of them were ready to transfer from the chamber to the bell. They're inside the bell, and then you had to bleed the trunking down. That's where they made on. So bleeding the trunking down is down to 0. Then inside the bell, they kicked the valve, and it started venting. And the trunking was still on, and they were leaving from 728 feet was our storage, 700 feet. And they started dropping pressure, and I'm in the control van, turning valves, trying to get them So I can't let them come up any higher than that. If they do, they're going to get bent, and there's nothing I can do. So I had to
just moor up right there.
Stopped everything, blew it down, and eventually they got the valve closed. So we lost 128 feet. And 28 days later, when they came out of the valve, started coming out of SAT, one of them got bent. And we couldn't figure out what it was. And Dr. Youngblood, which was a diving doctor at the time, he said, Doug, probably what happened was they ended up with micro bubbles, small bubbles at that depth. Because
we're talking, these guys are underwater. How deep are they underwater when this was happening?
No, they were on the surface.
Oh, they were on the surface. Okay.
On the surface, just transferring.
Oh, they were just transferring
to get to the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and so when you're transferring at the bottom pressure.
Well, that's okay. The bottom. Okay, I misunderstood. Yeah. So okay, and you figured that just micro bubbles?
Yeah, when they lost that 128 feet, the bubbles came out of solution, and we blew them back down. It ended up making micro bubbles. So when they started decompressing, 28 days later, the bubbles are very small. Now they're starting to come out, and
what happened to them?
Well, you just ended up with pain-only bends. So we had to give them different treatments.
What do you do for bends?
Different treatment. You give them a higher partial pressure of oxygen, and then you stage coming up.
So you're still in the bell or the decompression chamber when you're giving them oxygen.
Yeah.
Was he just start screaming at the top of his lungs, or he says, "I'm feeling uneasy," or how do you know when you got?
No, he was in pain.
Like lots of pain.
Yeah. He wasn't that much, but he was in pain. So once we treated him, he was okay.
And you give him oxygen for that?
Yeah, well, you increase the oxygen percentage.
Okay.
So it gets him up to a higher level of oxygen.
And that subsides.
Partial pressure of O2.
A lot of math involved in your job.
A bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, a bit. You have to understand it. You have to understand your physics and physiology of diving, and it takes a little bit.
How much different was that helmet to use than these helmets? It must have been night and day, or what? Like driving a Model T to a Cadillac?
That's a Cadillac. What's the matter? Jeez, Avery.
God. What is this? Is your sealer upper job?
That's your upper. That's it. Hasn't been a perk for a while. There you go.
You jam that over your head?
You jam that over your head.
Oh, look at that. How do you get that over your head? So you come through the birth canal or
your head, I get it. It'll go over.
I ain't putting it over. It'll choke me out.
Then it just hooks up here, and then you breathe out of this tube here. This was a proprietary hat. No, you'd have to have the special one.
For a fat head?
Yeah, the fat head one.
Was this your helmet?
Eh? This was one of them. I bought this one off in Morgan City, Louisiana. But this one was from Louisiana. Oceaneering.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah, they got out of the diving part of it, and they needed to go through all their commercial hats.
This was like getting shot in a bolt of lightning compared to that, eh?
Oh yeah.
Like
this was a.
This is an old antique helmet now, I would think.
Yeah, that's from the 70s.
This one here.
Yeah.
And the new ones, what's different about them? They're just lighter or what?
Well, there's different breathing regulators on them. There's different stuff on them, and that's all. Yeah.
You ever had one of these fail and not work?
Oh yeah.
What's that like? It's funny now, but it must not be funny underneath there, eh? What do you?
Well, you go to your bailout. That's why these things are on. You carry
the second one?
Well, you carry a scuba bottle in your back.
Okay.
So you just go to the bailout and
you just hit the bailout and away you go.
Sometimes these regulators in the back though freeze up. Ice
up?
Yeah. Not so much that when they first started coming out, yeah. They used to freeze up.
I imagine that gets your attention fairly quick, eh?
Very quickly.
Hey, no air. You just right there. You just.
And then the divers, they'll say, diver going on bailout.
Show me this so I can see it.
Now that's a new style regulator in your hat.
Hold it.
That's a style.
These ones here just pour air in there.
That's free
They
flow.
just pour air in there.
Rotate it so I can see all of it.
Yeah.
And you say, this is, what is this? Is 40-year-old technology, eh?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But the Avery, I mean, there's my favorite hat right there.
You've actually used this hat?
I did use it in the swimming pool.
This one here you made out of a 5-gallon pail?
Yeah. That's when I was a poor diver. That was before I started making any money.
There
I couldn't
you
buy
go.
my hat.
Anyways, Doug, I tell you what, an absolute pleasure sharing that with me.
No problem, buddy.
Okay, an absolute
Appreciate it.
pleasure. It's something that I don't think the average person realizes, like the danger of it, the adventure of it, and the skill set and stuff that you have to become an industrial diver.
I'll tell you what, I was impressed with you and Mike Hall are diving on some wreck there.
Down there, yeah. You know what the weird thing about that was? I didn't get claustrophobic till I come out of the water.
Till you're out of the water. Yeah.
Till I was out of the water. I was all right in the water. I come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike the idiot turned his air off. He figured he was going to save air.
Save air, yeah. That's one thing you don't want to see.
Yeah, I tell you what. Then he was figuring he was due all about diving already. His 1 hour of being down there. Okay, put it there, my friend. Okay,
Perfect.
it was absolutely wonderful.
No
And
problem.
happy birthday again.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Okay.